Hi guys, welcome back to Frosty Friday. So today we're going to attempt challenge number 5, which is around UDFs, user-defined functions. So this is a difficulty level of basics. So let's just see what this question entails. So this week we're using a feature that at the time of writing is pretty hot off the press, Python and Snowflake. To start out, create a simple table with a single column with a number. The size and amount are up to you. Okay. After that, we start with a very basic function. Multiply those numbers by 3. The challenge here is not to build a very difficult Python function, but to build and use the function Snowflake. We can test the code with the simple statement below. So I'm just going to quickly copy this. So paste in here, something like that. So I'm going to do is, let's see. So I'm going to copy in here, right? And then let me just comment this one out. Something like this. So we have to create a simple table with a single column with a number. All right, in order to do that is create replace table. So I'm going to call this exactly what it says here. And then create replace table 5. And then I'm going to create a single digit number. So let's call it val int, right? Something like this. All right, that's created. And I'm just going to insert into this table values. So I'm going to say value 3, for example, right? And then we're going to select the table. Okay, 3. So the thing is about doing this, okay, it's a bit manual work to do. You're creating a table, you're defining a column, and you're inserting a record. It's a single record, right? What you can do is just create a random generator. So in order to do that, similar to what we've got here. So I'm gonna do week 5, right? As in here, what you're gonna do is do select uniform. So Snowflake has a feature called uniform. So uniform returns a uniformly random number in the inclusive range minimum and maximum. So it takes 3 parentheses, right? You define the minimum values 1 and the maximum 100. So it generates a random number between 1 to 100 and then generates random, right? You say random like this. So if you see here, just before typing random, it says random. Each code returns a pseudo random 64-bit integer. All right, that's my generator, right? Something like this. As let's call this VAL, right? Create replace. Oh, should be create replace table. All right. So executing this. So if you want to see back the select statement here, I got 1. Okay. So if I want to execute this again, yeah, recreate the table again and execute the table, I get 58 again. So if I use execute this table again and then view the table, I get 5, right? So this is how it works, right? Gives you a random number. So next, what we're going to do is, I was thinking to create 2 different functions. Let's just create one for Python, and then let's just create one for SQL. So let's start with Python UDF, right? So anyone you don't know what UDF is, they are user-defined function, right? That's our abbreviation. So what I'm going to do is create or replace function, right? Something like this. And I'm going to create what's called times 3, right? Create times 3, something like that. And I'm going to say val int, right? So this is what I'm passing through, right? This is my value I'm going to pass. And then here I'm just going to say returns int. So it doesn't return a table. This function returns a scalar function. It's like a single value, right? It doesn't return a whole table itself with columns and rows, but this returns a single value. Returns int. Language, I'm going to say Python. Runtime version. So make sure if you do this, you give a runtime version. So for example, in this case, if you specify runtime version as something else here, right, it's an outdated version, etc., then you won't be able to write, or you won't be able to invoke the latest Python libraries or functionalities, right? Make sure the version you're using is appropriate to what you're actually implementing on Python, right? So this is I'm using 3.8, right? And then what I'm going to do is handler. So handler is basically, okay, if I just write handler as, let's say, multiply by 3, it's going to say Python here, right? So handler, what it means is whatever you're writing in here, this is the function you're actually going to create in the body. So I'm going to say something like this, right? Dollar sign. So which is obviously should be as, and then dollar sign. Yeah. So within this body, I'm going to define the function. I'm going to say define function. So I'm writing a Python code, right? Multiply. So I'm just going to get this correct spelling. So multiply by 3 pi. And then I'm going to um, put an argument as a single value digit. And then here I also return var times by 3, right? Times by 3, something like that. And then close off the body and close off the whole statement. So if you see here, handler multiplied by 3 pi is exactly here in the body. So make sure these two are matching. This doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be multiplied by 3 here, multiplied by 3 here and here, right? It doesn't have to be like that, but this can be anything, right? So it's basically these two values that's important. So if I just write something else, if I like do a silly spelling mistake here, it won't work, right? So you define the function, and then I just set return the value times by 3. So this is Python function, right? Python function begins with the DEF, so define the function, right? So I'm just gonna execute this. Let's see if I've got any errors. Okay, function times 3 successfully created. Now what I'm gonna do is similar to what we've got here. So I'm just gonna copy this and paste. So I'm gonna do let me just uncomment this. Here start end. It's not called start end, it's called val. So something like that. So it's got times 3. Let me see if it's working. So 15. Alright, it's working fine because in our table, origin table, we got 5. So 5 times by 3. So if we just pass the value val in here, right? From here, from this table, and this is the function, right? This is the name of this function. I'm going to get 15, right? So yeah, I think this, I'm happy with this for now. So this is how it works. So let me recreate this and get a different value, right? Okay, you see what value I got? I got 87. So pass 87 here. So of course this function has already been built. So 87 by times by 3 is 261, right? So yeah, this is how it works and using Python UDF. Let's just do this similar to let's say SQL UDF, right? So this is Python UDF, and I'm just going to create SQL UDF. So in order to create a SQL UDF, is similar to what we've got above. So I'm going to do create or replace, let's say function. What did I got here? Times 3. I'm just going to copy that, and I'm going to say times 3 underscore SQL, right? I should have named this underscore py to denote this is Python, but that's fine. So I'm just going to do val int, right? So you pass in the value. Just going to say again returns int. So obviously same as here, returns integer. Language SQL. I think this is optional, but just keep it as it is. So in SQL, we don't need those two, runtime version handler. You don't need to define here. You can just quickly define, go to work with the body itself, right? Something like that. And then of course in SQL, what we're going to do is, I mean, you can say select, just say val times by 3, right? Something like that, right? You can just select, or we can just, let me just try this, right? Let's see if that works. Okay, run this times by 3. Okay, so this means if I just do times, just gonna copy this from ff35. Okay, I got the same answer, right? This is for SQL function, and this is the Python function itself. So make sure you get the same answer here, right? Because our table initially, what's the value? Initial value is 87. Let me see here. You can just say something like this. Let me just quickly test something for select, right? Okay, let's run this. Okay, it's the same, right? If you don't need to specify select, you can just say while times by 3. So yeah, this is how it works. This is what I'm happy with. This is a SQL UDF. This is the Python UDF, right? So I got the answer that I want, so it's working well. So this is one of the particular questions that helps you to understand the difference between Python UDF and SQL UDF, plus how do you generate random number between 1 to 100. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.